of the Sri Lankan national anthem, which we all proudly sing and do. Such is the bond that we have with Bharat. Let's move on quickly to look at some of the vitals of Sri Lanka. We are a country of about 20 million people. We are a democratic country, a vibrant one at that. We recently had regime change of a powerful, family, and we're all very proud of that, having done that with purely in a very harmonious through just a balance. And it is a vibrant democracy. It is also a well-connected country digitally. We were the first South Asian country to get 4G. Our mobile network is penetrated all over the rural. It's 100% rural penetration there. The businesses that we do mainly are tea, rubber, coconut, tourism, which we'll talk more about, spices, gems, jewelry. There are many things that Sri Lanka does. In terms of literacy, we have one of the highest, which rivals the best of developed countries. Coming to the GDP, the national income, we are in the region, we are in the middle income region of about $3,200, $3,500, depending on which statistic you look at. And especially if you look at the Western province, which Colombo is a part of, which has about 40% of the population, the GDP is close to $6,000, which is equivalent to what you see in Thailand. So right next door, we have a growing economy, a star of the region that is rising. I happened to meet the country director of Philips, who was just recently opened. They're going to have the opening ceremony next week of their own office in Colombo. And my question to them was, why in Sri Lanka, suddenly Philips products are there all over the world for many years. They said their market insight tells them that Sri Lanka is one among the top 5 consumer growth countries in the world. And that's the reason that they've just opened their own offices. So a couple of examples of the growth that we are experiencing in the last 5 years after having painfully resolved an ethnic strife in our country. Now people of all race and religion are looking for peace through economic development and prosperity, and there is signs of growth. The consumer spending has increased by almost 2.5 times over the last 5 years, and our tourism arrivals are growing leaps and bounds. It's grown by about 5 times over the last 5 years. And these are a couple of examples of the growth. And it's not just the growth. I've just picked out one table from a JLL survey, one of the big real estate firms. It just to show how untapped this growth potential is. It's not just the growth potential, but there is a lot more to do. So if you look at the retail mall space in Colombo compared to other countries in the region, or other cities rather in the region, the per capita mall space in Colombo is only 0.26 compared to even Chennai, which is, about double. They have double the size of, the mall space that we have. Jakarta has about 5-6 times, but we have comparable incomes. So this is just one example of mentioned growth potential that is there in Colombo, and we invite our Hindu brethren to come, see, exploit, and prosper using Sri Lanka as a platform. Just before we go into some details about key, I hope I'm okay for time, about key areas, just a few areas of opportunities. As far as ease of doing business is concerned, Sri Lanka is 84th according to World Bank survey, compared to Bharat, which is in the 130s. We have investment protection enshrined in the Constitution of Sri Lanka. We have free trade agreements with 28 countries, I believe, and many tax treaties with many countries. So all this shows that we are ready to do business. We have one of the best infrastructure to do business in Sri Lanka. I'll go quickly to some of the opportunities. This is a slide put together by the earlier government. We have many hubs that have been identified as opportunities. We'll just take 3 of them. We'll talk about commercial hub, and the best way I thought would be to share some success stories of Hindu and Bharat-based businesses in Sri Lanka. So we have Mass Holdings, which is a $1.5 billion largest business group in Sri Lanka, which is employs about 50,000 people, is one of our pride and a Hindu-owned business. Indian firms like Dabur has opened plants in Sri Lanka to exploit the free trade agreement with India, and there are many examples. We have other colleagues of mine who have come here as part of the economic forum from Sri Lanka. One example would be Ashok, who's from India, has come to Sri Lanka, has been welcomed into Sri Lanka as a Hindu businessman, and he's been very successful. So there are many examples like that we can share with you. Another area for development which we need is in the area of knowledge, with a high literacy rate, English and math literacy, and we have one of the big concentration of accountants, me being one in Sri Lanka. There is a lot of opportunity for investment and development in the area of knowledge. So we welcome our Hindu brethren to look at that. And of course tourism, which is the jewel in the crown. Sri Lanka has some of the most beautiful beaches as featured in National Geographic. We have the highest concentration of leopards in some of the wildlife parks. We have the 8th wonder of the world as described, the Sigiriya, and many thousands of year-old sites. Arugam Bay, which is another beach which is considered a surfing capital. And of course tea. I am a chai wala, so I have to mention I sell tea for a living, and today being a chai wala is a great thing, as we all know. So tea is a fantastic opportunity in Sri Lanka. Do come, enjoy the cup of tea, see how it's grown, and the beautiful sights of tea gardens. Plus Ayurveda, we are considered, having learned the techniques from Bharat, considered as a great destination for Ayurveda as well. And above all, we have one of the world's best, most welcoming smiles. So please do come, visit us, enjoy our hospitality, and do get involved in business towards prosperity. And as I conclude, I just want to get back to Ram Setu, which is an awe-inspiring, monumental Hindu legacy that we could call. These 10 minutes that we've spent, I would like to compare it with the little squirrel which had rolled that little pebble onto Ram Setu. And I believe all of us sitting together here will put that extra stone onto Ram Setu and make and cross this bridge, this time, to make prosperity in our communities. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.